which differentiating tool to use, the tactical approach, how to interpret the situation morally, and which pathway to take. These are actually a lot of choices at every moment that you can make. You know, that's the matrix. That's like, if you look at it like a 3D kind of table. And the benefit, again, is that the player owns more of the experience. They feel unique. They can then talk with their friends and say, hey, what did you do in the Lord Regent room? Did you manage to go to him, or did you have to throw a grenade over the ball of light, or did you possess one of the tall boys, or, you know. So everybody has his own thing. And the process for that is that we support the key play styles everywhere, constantly. So we really make an effort, it's a religion for us, to always ask ourselves, is the stealth player supported? Is the direct player supported? Etc., etc. And what you have to think about it is that it's not discrete path. It's not like you arrive somewhere in an environment and there are two doors or two pathways, and one says stealth and one says combat. It's not really the way we do it. It's more like in one big space, at every time you can switch from one tactic to the other. Like you see a pool of shadow over there and a pillar, you can hide behind it. Even though you were in combat a minute ago. Also, we try to break the pattern. We try to not be too predictable. So, for example, every time there's a dumpster, we don't put an apple into it. You know, we might put 3, and then next time we don't put any. We love to randomize roles and mission objectives. So we talked about this at the beginning. The benefit of that is that players can replay. So we talked about the Lady Bull party with the target that sometimes is in red, sometimes is in white, sometimes is in black. Because the story behind this is that you have to infiltrate a masquerade kind of party, and you have to investigate who is Lady Boreal. And to do so, you have to talk to people, find some notes, etc. And every time what we do is that the notes are randomized, the identity of Lady Boreal is randomized, her path is randomized. And so that creates an interesting experience for everybody, and we can replay it, and every time it's a little different. Okay. There's another thing is that when you think about what we allow the player to have its own player-driven goals. So, for example, he might suddenly decide that he needs more health. Because it's very low on health. And so, and that's part of the ecology, the economy as well of the game, where suddenly in the middle of his mission, and you can think of it like a little bit like Skyrim as well, it's true as well. Like suddenly in the middle of your mission, you actually forget, you don't want to do the goal anymore, but now you have a sub-goal, which is, I need to survive, or I want to upgrade this spell, or whatever. And also there's a range of outcomes that we support. So, you can be fully ghost, like really, really stealthy, or you can be partially stealthy, or you can be totally messy. And then we acknowledge that to the player. Not only we just we don't want to just give him like a little achievement at the end of the game saying, oh yeah, you were stealthy. But instead it's more like a reaction to the world itself. The players like acknowledgement of what they do. So if they play one way, they like to have the game telling them, we noticed that you play this way and it's good, or it's bad, whatever. So that goes as well for murders versus non-lethal, slow pace versus fast, and some players that just prefer action versus some players that really like to dig in the story and finding secrets. The heart was a very interesting tool, by the way. It was not so much our idea. Neither Harvey, neither I liked it. But a producer at Bethesda was really into this idea that you would have some sort of a heart device to identify where your target is. And we changed that. We did not make it exactly that, but we gave it a little voice. It had its own personality. And the heart was actually going to randomly, per playthrough anyway, every guard, every NPC had its little story. And the heart, every time you have your heart out and you point at the character, the heart would talk and would say something along the lines of, this person killed his brother when he was a child, right? Or it would say something like, this person isn't as bad as it looks. And this would generate for the players, again, like you have to think of players as, not everybody plays the same way. They are like, there's like this small proportion, there's like this 1% or even less than that, 0.1% of players that are really crazy, but in a cool way. And these guys, they will appreciate and they will actually make their own goals based on like what the heart says, and so like they will only kill the ones that are actually evil. And so that was a really cool thing for us. Alright, so here's the summary of all this. We believe in guiding the players instead of dictating. We believe in general purpose systems, so the tools and entities that can be used creatively. And we believe in the play path metrics, which is a combination of a large array of player tools and a very open type of environment so that the players can play the way they want. And our goals here is to create a dynamic story derived from the player's action. This is an interactive form of drama. Again, anything could happen. It's not a movie. You are making the experience, and then you can discuss it with your friends, and you felt like you were there, and it was unique to you, instead of being surrounded by a bunch of actors that just like do every time the same thing. So it's a traditional story elements that are there to give narrative context, but then the player express its own creativity in this space. And so the player can play creatively. So the example of the blink and jump, which was the same, it's the same vein of the example of the possession plus falling that I gave earlier. Blink and jump is actually probably an easier example of all that. Is when we created the jump, the blink. Sorry, the blink is actually this kind of a teleportation where you target at a point and you just go there. And it's limited in distance. It's only like I think it was 18 feet or whatever. So that would be like 6 meters. And the first thing that people did is like, hey, what about if I jump and blink, then he can go further, obviously. And we thought about that. And then if you actually have another power with it, which is the high jump, then because you high jump, you also jump further, simply because it's a curve. And so a high jump, and then like there's the double jump, and the apex of the double jump, then it blinks. If you add a sprint to that, and if you add super speed to that, which is another power, then the guy runs really fast, jumps, double jumps, and then blink, and he goes really, really far. Far to the point of sometimes breaking the game. Again, the game doesn't really break for real, but it's just like it breaks the heart of the level designers. Because they try to make this super cool challenge for you with a wall of light and some guards, etc. And then you manage to like jump on the balcony and run and go over the wall of light. And you say, oh shit. But the game doesn't break. It's not like the game shuts down. It's more like, now you're on the other side and you manage to find your own way to go over the wall of light. And that's cool. So, putting it all together, I'm going to try to show you the thing that I could not show you in my first talk. I'm going to talk about the poisoning scene. That's the last slide, actually. After that, we have the questions. The poisoning scene is actually an example of how there is a story context in which the player can express his own choices. Right? So let's look at this. It's from the previous talk. The first day I did not show this.